there was a timeline, a date that was mentioned in Wizard World that correlates to a date in Muggle World. So Harry, he gets one of the cards inside of his chocolate frog, and it says that Dumbledore, he's particularly famous for his defeat of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald in 1945. And I thought, 1945? Some very notable events? Some dark wizard? What if in Muggle World, all of World War II was just a cover-up for a wizard war that was happening? Because you know the Ministry of Magic can only cover up so many things. So I'm like, they can't go erase all the minds of everyone. Or maybe the war was so large that they would have to literally erase entire minds for it to work. So it was easier to cast some kind of spell that like changed it for them. They're like, perfect. All those explosions, they weren't spells. There were no dragons. This Hitler guy, maybe he goes by another name in the wizard world.
Oh
Maybe
my
that's
god.
going too far, but that's where my mind went.
I don't do anything with history. That date meant nothing to me.
Me neither.
Welcome to our podcast. I'm John.
Jen.
Danny.
And Kristen.
And this is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Today we are going over chapters 6 through 10 of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Our snack for the day is Birdie Bot's Every Flavored Beans, and after every single chapter that we talk about, we are going to eat one of the Birdie Bot's Every Flavored Beans at random. So this could be really, really gross, really, really quick. Again, the best thing you can do to support this podcast is give it a rating and review. Our designer is Zachary Rupert, and the music is by Jacob Petrus. Enjoy listening. Okay, chapter 6 through 10. That's what we're going over today. And there is lots of questions. I'm very excited about these chapters. This is like the entry into Hogwarts. Very excited stuff. So chapter 6 is called Journey from Platform 9 3/4. I need a summary from one of you guys on chapter 6.
I want to make Kristen do all the summaries.
No, please don't.
All right, let me just quick scan and see where it ends. The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. I think that title sums it up. It's where they being Harry and his new friends that he meets, leave London and go to Hogwarts for the first time.
Yeah.
And how they get there.
And how they get there.
Very magical.
Very magical. And Harry meets all sorts of new people, which is really exciting for him. He's kind of like, it almost feels like a buffet of people who could be his friends. Kind
You
of
have a
fun and
way with
exciting.
words.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
So here's the first question that I have for you. This annoys me to no end, and I don't know, maybe I'm just going to pass my annoyance on you guys. But is Hagrid an idiot for not showing Harry the way to get to platform 9 3/4?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. But here's the funny thing. When you're immersed in something, because this is how I think, when you're immersed in something, you don't think like a newcomer. So something that is so obvious that you should be telling someone, you don't necessarily think about it. So I feel like he was just so immersed. It's like, oh, here you go. He should just know how to do this. But like, he just didn't fully think it through. I think that way sometimes. So I kind of related to it. I was like, I don't know.
I think you're right, because I think there's an aspect of this in every kind of job that you do or every world that you're in. You use the language of that world and you're so, like what you said, immersed in that world that no matter what you do, you just feel like someone should automatically get it and understand where you're coming from. So it's understandable on Hagrid's end, but it's still idiotic because
it absolutely is.
He's like the most famous wizard of all time, and he just leaves them saying, "Oh, you just get the platform 9 3/4." By the way, I forgot.
Oh,
We forgot this.
I'm so scared.
I'm not even going to peek. I don't want to know.
Don't peek. There's our first shot of Birdie Bot's Every Flavored Beans because it is the first chapter.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Take one.
Oh, guys, I don't want to do it.
Pass it around.
Pass it around.
What is
You
that
can
from?
smell it.
99
Take
bottles
one
of beer
down.
on the wall.
I'm doing the first one.
I'm scared.
Oh, wait. I almost looked at it. I don't want to see the color.
I got
'cause there's a
lucky.
guide.
Mine is tasty.
I think I got lucky too.
Me 3.
No, I did get lucky. Mine's soap. But
Ew.
it doesn't taste bad.
I'm gonna laugh.
It's good
Mine is
soap.
too.
Yeah.
Oh no, mine's good. Tutti
Interesting.
frutti.
No
Oh,
way.
this is bad. I'm
That was a
like
good
seeing
start.
what the possibilities are. Wow,
Yeah.
these are all bad. Oh
I
no,
had
here are the good
banana.
ones.
You had banana?
Yep.
Nice. We got
Yeah,
lucky
mine
on the
was good
first one.
too. I don't know what it was. It was like grape
no.
or something.
At first, I looked at the color and I was like, rotten egg. That tasted good. But
I
it's
feel
I've
like
had
banana.
more
know
rotten
it
eggs
when we-
lately.
Ugh.
I mean, this is like a kid's candy after all. They're not trying to destroy us, right?
I mean, are they though?
Maybe.
I'm just trying to make you feel better. Meanwhile, we're gonna get destroyed in a second.
Oh,
I
do not
hope we
wanna
get
get-
some bad ones.
I don't want
I'm
to get
excited.
vomit.
Okay, back to some questions. There's a few great moments in this. Harry gets ushered into platform 9 3/4 from the Weasley family. The very first time we meet the Weasleys. There's great lines in here about the Weasleys too. Like, I love this one. Because blimey, said the other twin. Aren't you? He is, said the first twin. Aren't you? He added to Harry. What? Said Harry. Harry Potter, chorused the twins. Oh, him, said Harry. I mean, yes, I am. I love Harry's like little, oh, him? Yeah, I'm Harry Potter, I guess. And then there's another great line where the twins, they leaned out from the window for her to kiss them goodbye, and their younger sister began to cry. Don't, Ginny. We'll send you loads of owls. We'll send you a Hogwarts toilet seat. George! Only joking, Mom. What's your guys' first impression of the Weasleys?
Love them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the twins are great. They're troublemakers, but I love troublemakers. And they clearly have good hearts. They like care about their little sister. And even Harry, like they didn't know he was Harry Potter, but they're helping him get to the platform and load his bag on. I'm like, these guys are like good guys. I like them.
Yeah. I come from a big family. So like that dynamic of a big family, I recognized right away. I loved it. Like all the different personalities of the siblings and everything. Yes, I love them. They're my family.
It makes you intrigued what their older siblings are like too, because we didn't exactly meet them, and even their like debates with Percy. He's a prefect, which you guys didn't really know what a prefect was. Us Americans don't really know what a prefect is. It's just an RA pretty much for us, someone with more responsibility. But I love how they're just making fun of Percy for saying he's a prefect every single hour, every minute of the day for the entire summer. So annoying.
Well, they also were joking around with their mom. I forgot the
Oh,
names
yeah, like
already.
George and Fred.
George and Fred.
Yes,
I'm
I
Fred,
loved
Mom.
it.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm George.
They go into it's so good.
Like such a jokester thing to do.
Yeah, they become Harry's family in a way. And we'll talk about this as we go on, but this is such a great first impression. It's one of my favorites. They just feel like such a great tight-knit family.
Yeah, you can feel the connection.
Mhm.
Just how they all interact.
Yeah.
Love it.
So let's drive in specifically on this though. What's your first impression of Ron?
I like Ron a lot. I don't want to be the first one to answer everything. He's great. I like that he just asks the questions his mom just said don't bring up. And he's just like, what about your scar? I want to see it. Are you really him? And like, that's great.
They describe what he looks like in the beginning too, right? This part.
He was tall, thin, and gangling with freckles, big hands and feet, and a long nose.
It's funny because I read that so quickly because I just pictured him as the movie Ron. So I was like, I don't need to know this information. I just ran over it. Not that it maybe matters, but
No, the movies are pretty close to it. I actually, in the books, the twins are not in this one section, but the twins end up being shorter than Ron. In the movies, they're taller than Ron. That's the only thing. The twins end up being like a little shorter and a little stouter than Ron is, and Ron's tall, gangly one. Changes things in your mind a little bit, but yeah, Ron is like a tall, gangly kid, a little awkward, trying to like find his place in the world and his family. Yeah, Ron's like an idiot, but yeah, he's great.
But he cares. He wants to be friends with,
I know.
or he wants to make Harry feel comfortable. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Like Harry doesn't even know what a friend is.
Yeah.
Right.
which is sad.
I know.
Kid's never had a friend in his life, and this is the first encounter that he kind of feels like he has a friend. Maybe Hagrid before, but that's not really like a friend. He ends up becoming a friend, but like this is the first person his age that he's like interacting with on a personal level. That's like a possible friend level.
Yeah. I just love how Harry like reads character in people. Because even when he met Malfoy, he was like, nope. But then Ron, it was like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
You know, we can be friends. It was just natural.
We didn't get there yet.
Kinda.
Malfoy.
No,
Oh,
we
that
did.
wasn't that was
in
the last
Diagon
podcast,
Alley,
right?
because
Alley,
he still
Jen.
didn't like
I was
him
like, did
there.
I do it again? Come on.
No, but he like re-meets him here, and then we know how annoying he is.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
We kind
This
of
is
already
later in the chapter.
suspected, but
I love to in this section when Harry buys them. He buys just the whole trolley, pretty much.
Oh,
the
yes.
best.
Like
oh yeah.
He's never had money before, and
Yeah.
Hagrid was there before, but now he's like, nobody can tell me what I can and can't buy.
yeah.
So great.
We don't know how much money you took out, do we? Did
No.
they say?
I don't think so.
But he just has endless money.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
got to be some kind of wizard credit card or something like that too. I can imagine they're just carrying
I
gold
thought they
with
were
them all
these
the time.
coin
Well,
things.
I don't know, because if 10 gold coins gets you a wand, that's what that was, right? Like 1 gold coin has to get you more candy than a whole train could
That's
eat.
true.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's not that much.
Yeah.
Like $100 bill in your pocket.
Especially for Harry, who just saw his whole vaults filled with
Yes.
gold, and it's compounding interest. So like he doesn't have to worry about that at all. And there's great descriptions in here too, even of his sharing, which are really beautiful. Where like, Ron is kind of looking at all the candy, and Harry says, "Go on, have a pasty," said Harry, who had never had anything to share before, or indeed anyone to share with. It was a nice feeling sitting there with Ron, eating their way through all Harry's pasties and cakes. The sandwiches, lay forgotten. I love that.
Oh, and also, since we brought it up, it actually tells us how much everything costs, because it was 11 silver sickles and 7 bronze nuts.
Oh,
So he had those
Where
coins
was
on
that?
him.
Yeah.
At the end of the paragraph where it talks about what he bought, like what we're eating right now.
right there. Yeah.
Birdie Bots.
You circled that in your book, didn't you?
Literally. I'm like, who's Birdie Bot? Who is Drooble? Because the chocolate frogs don't have like a name to them. They're just like generic, I guess. But I'm like, I hope we get to meet these people. The
But you
Bean
cannot
Master.
Google. You just
No,
can't
exactly.
Google
I
any of
can't
this kind of
Google
stuff.
anything. So I'm just stuck circling and speculating.
All right, how about this for all the candies that they listed? It was Birdie Bot's every flavored beans, which we're eating now, Drooble's best chewing gum, chocolate frogs, pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes, and licorice wands. Which out of those would you want to eat the most?
Pumpkin pasties.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know
we
what that
talked
means,
about,
but it sounds
I don't
good.
either, but we talked about how these books like remind us of fall. I'm not a huge pumpkin person, but a pumpkin pasty sounds really good. So I went with that. Sticking with the fall theme.
Chocolate frogs.
Chocolate frogs?
I love chocolate. Anything chocolate.
Anything but licorice wands, to be honest.
So true.
I hate licorice.
I'm not the biggest cake fan. I would probably go with pumpkin pasties too.
And that's probably why I got where I did in my house.
Oh, I thought you meant like your literal house.
No.
It went over my head.
Yeah, that's true.
Just mute me for this whole thing.
Wow.
In your Hogwarts house?
Hmm?
What are you talking about?
No, that was a question. I'd ask you
What candy?
that
It
exact
did.
thing.
You're right.
Oh.
No
And
way.
if you
Yes,
guys,
it
none of
did.
you said chocolate frogs, then
And to be fair,
Ah.
we know where these boys went, and they love their chocolate frogs.
Interesting.
You could be onto something.
Wow. I guess licorice wands is probably like a Slytherin thing.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Mm.
They're
Licorice.
nasty.
Yeah, I was going to
Or
say
Birdie
because they're
Bot's every
gross.
flavored beans. Here's another thing. Ron is a collector of chocolate frogs, but he has 500 cards. Is that an alarming number of chocolate frogs to be eaten?
Yes.
No.
Jen's like,
Jen's like, no, that's
like
Over a lifetime.
easy.
Sadly, yes.
Wait, how big are these things? Like normal size frogs? Like
We'll do that for the next one. We'll
they
get some
make
chocolate
those too?
frogs.
Oh,
I don't
this
know.
is
I think they do
Do
make them. They're kind of
they?
like the Birdie Bots
Mm.
brand. I think Jelly Belly makes them, but I don't know how good they are. We'll see.
Well, he also maybe got some from his brother. You know, like older
True.
siblings were collecting. They had duplicates
It's like Pokemon
Oh,
cards.
that's
true. I was just going to
Cards?
say we definitely
Of
did
the
that.
cards.
of the
Siblings.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the cards.
Yeah.
That way he wouldn't have to eat them all himself. Team effort.
I would if they were that good.
Jen's
like, give me them.
500 is so
I've
easy.
eaten,
Easy.
I've
All
eaten
the
those,
chocolate.
like, you know, those homemade chocolate boxes.
Oh,
the
yeah.
2-layer. Oh, a patient gave it to me at work to the team. Guess who single-handedly ate all of
Yeah, girl.
me.
Excellent.
So not far-fetched. Anyways.
Chocolate frogs, Gryffindor. Jen would eat all of them. That's why you're an extreme Gryffindor. You just keep eating chocolate frogs. Keep eating them. You're so good.
I think that's what sets me apart from you guys.
Your chocolate habits. How about your first impressions of Hermione though? She jumps in. Remember she said, "We're looking for a toad. A boy named Neville's lost it."
I thought that was
Oh, that's
her.
right. Yeah.
But she's annoying.
Yeah. She's caring, but very like.
Rigid.
Yeah. Thank you. That's the word. I was going to say
Type
strict,
A.
but rigid works.
And
Unlike
more
Hermione.
nerdy than I thought.
What do you mean?
The description of her seemed more like she's attractive in the movies, and like it seems more like nerdy type with the wild hair and just I don't know. She didn't come across. I don't know how I'm trying to explain this.
Well, she was supposed. So I don't know if you guys knew this. She's supposed to have bigger teeth in the front, and they actually tried. There's one scene. I forget which one it is in the first movie. I'm not giving anything away, but they tried putting bigger teeth in her mouth, and it didn't work out. Like she couldn't do it. So there's like a random scene. I was like, oh my gosh, they're huge.
And it's in
you
the
can
movie?
tell. Yeah. But it's not throughout the
Wow.
whole thing.
Are you going to
So
point
they
it out to
tried,
us when it
but-
comes?
I'll try. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a
We'll
section in the books,
notice it.
where
We're gonna be
something
looking
like
out for it now.
changes. There's also another scene in the movies where do you guys? I don't know if we've come across this yet. Do you know what color Harry's eyes are yet?
They're bluish, right?
In the movies, they are.
Oh,
We haven't really come
actually
across this.
doesn't-
This isn't a massive point, but
You know
they're-
what? I think they're green.
Yeah, they're
I
green.
wanted to say green.
Because I have kind of greenish eyes, so I remember that. But also, I highlighted in this chapter when he explained to Ron his childhood, he only remembers green. And I'm like, he's got green eyes. All he remembers from his encounter with you-know-who is green. And also, who remembers things when they're a baby?
Yeah.
It must have had an impact.
Yes.
Danny, you're giving me all sorts of theories in my head right now. This kind of stuff. This
His
is
wheels
so
are
cool.
spinning.
That's why I'm here.
This is like I love
That's
this.
why
I'm just
it's
like-
you two.
I'm
Like, I'm
playing
the filler.
detective. I'm like highlighting all this stuff and like maybe green means something. It
Wait, did
maybe
you write
means
these notes when you knew that we
absolutely
were doing the
nothing.
podcast?
What?
Did you write these notes just because or because of the podcast?
Yeah. I think all of. Oh no, actually, some of these were not because I had just decided I was going to keep these books forever, so I just started writing in it. But I forget where the podcast idea came into play.
That's a fascinating way to read.
It's
I couldn't.
a little
the
much.
best.
It's a
Yeah.
little much.
It's
But it's
intense,
great.
but on your second read, it is going to be unbelievable.
Did you do that too?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
write in your
Well, not
books?
I won't do it that intensely on like the
Mm.
first read, but because we're doing this, you have to kind of do it intensely and like check for everything, come up with
Yep.
theories and all that kind of stuff. But on your second read, it's going to be you're going to figure out if your theories are right, and you're going to like be able to search the internet to feel
Ooh,
if other
yes.
people think these kind of things too. Things are going to become headcanon for you. It's going to be great. But
Wait,
anyway,
you said headcanon last week. What does headcanon mean?
so there's a canon. There's like the canon of Harry Potter, which is
Mhm.
everything that she's written.
Like actually written.
Actually
okay,
written.
Oh my
And there's
gosh.
headcanon where you come up with theories about things that aren't really confirmed by her. She has written a ton outside of these specific books, and that's all canon. If it comes from her mouth, it is canon.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
there's slight controversy with that because Harry Potter and the Cursed Child didn't quite come from her mouth, but it kind of came from her mouth. Someone else wrote the screenplay for it, but she was supervising the screenplay, something like that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of controversy with that one. Most people say it's not canon because there's things
Ooh, I
that
love
happen in
that.
that are just strange.
They don't make sense.
Interesting.
It was made for Broadway, and people say like when you go and see the Broadway play, it's awesome, like awe-inspiring. But it's just not exactly canon. But anything that she's written, so she writes a ton on Wizardmore, which used to be Pottermore, and like all these other things that she writes on, and anything that she writes is canon. Anything that I think I find in the chapters that become like fan theories becomes headcanon for me, which is like in my own
Oh,
head,
yes.
that's canon. And there's tons and tons of fan theories. I
love
cannot
it.
wait to discuss with you guys when we hit the 7th book because there are beautiful ones that she has actually talked about. Like a lot of fans ask her what her favorite fan theories are, and she'll talk about them at length and be like, "I love this one for this reason and this
Really?
reason
Oh, that's
and this
cool.
reason."
That's
So she like will interact. She's great at interacting with the fans too. So good. But anyway, Harry has green eyes, and in the movies they try to give him contacts to give him green eyes, but he was so bothered by them that irritated his eyes so much that he didn't do it anymore. So in the movies he has
Oh.
blue eyes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's another little fun fact for you.
Cool.
Okay, and then Draco comes in and he says this line, which is just annoying. He goes, "You'll soon find out some wizarding families are better than others, Potter." He calls him by his last name here. "You don't want to go making friends with the wrong sort. I can help you out there." He held out his hand to shake Harry's, but Harry didn't take it. "I think I could tell who the wrong sort are from myself. Thanks," he said coolly.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of their their like interactions with each other so far? Theirs compared to Harry's and Malfoy's compared to Harry and Ron.
It's like an instant nemesis.
Yeah. You even like saw hints of it when they were getting their wardrobes.
Right. Well, that's what I was talking about
their
before. You could just like sense it right
Yeah.
away. There's something there.
I feel like Draco's polarizing. He's gonna either create best friends or enemies instantly. That's why he's got 2 goons already.
Good point.
And it's sad too. I think Draco is a slightly sympathetic character because no kid just automatically thinks this. It has to be just ingrained in you and your parents. He is probably living this lavish life, and then he thinks his family, because they're so rich. Like even what we were saying before, like Harry could have been like Malfoy, like with everything that he was going through. He could have been bitter if he was in the wizarding world and things might have gotten to his head. And he was like, yeah, my family, the Potters, are better than your family.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Maybe he would. But this is like ingrained in Malfoy's where they're better than other people.
There's one thing though that's interesting is that he bullies Dudley, right? When he's in Muggle world. And then how he's so different in the wizard world. I just find that interesting because he could be like Malfoy too. The way he's like has to stand up for himself all the time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that he takes on a different personality from his family, and he's more like caring and thoughtful, and he can, I guess then he can seek out the bullies because he's used to having one that he lives with too.
And there's something that I love about Harry too, is that he is truly defensive. He isn't the most offensive person. Like if he's not like Malfoy. Malfoy is offensive, where he went out to Harry's compartment, looked for him, tried to almost like pick a fight, get him on his side. Harry is passive about all this kind of stuff. He's a very passive character, and all these things are happening to him, which is necessary for the book. But as soon as someone steps on his turf, like he's like, no. He like has his guards up. As soon as they were in the wardrobes shop and they were getting their robes, he like put his guards up. He's like, no, I know what I'm talking about. And then this Malfoy comes at him and he's like, no, I can tell the wrong sort for myself. It's like I already have my best friend right next to me. Like I already decided. I just love it. I think he's just it's just an interesting choice to make him a passive character rather than an active character. And I think it really suits the story well so far. And then here's my final question for this chapter. What do you guys think of the hero, Scabbers the rat, bravely biting Goyle's knuckle?
Oh, also, how do you pronounce the other kid? Crabby?
It's Crab and Goyle.
Those are my 3 choices.
Maybe it's French. Crabbe.
Crabbe.
I think Crab and Goyle.
All right, nice.
But you can kind of pronounce it however you want.
I feel like I wasn't giving Scabbers enough credit. I'm like, oh, he's defending Ron. I like this guy.
He's a great pet.
He comes in when he needs to. He comes in clutch.
Yeah.
But I wonder like how much he understood, because I was still kind of stuck wondering, did he absorb all of this? Like, these guys are here to fight, and if they take any action, then I'm gonna fight back. Or was it just kind of like the dude reaches near his chocolate and he's like, step away from the chocolate, bites him?
Probably it.
Like, how intelligent is this rat? That's what I'm getting at.
And then
Maybe
it's funny
he's
because
not.
later in Harry like throws him off of his pillow somewhere. He's just like everywhere, kind of. So a little annoying little rat.
I mean, he's a rat.
Yeah.
A hand-me-down rat.
Yeah. He has a hand-me-down wand, a hand-me-down rat, hand-me-down robes.
Oh, Ron.
Ron.
All us youngest siblings just feel for Ron in these moments.
Yep.
Brutal.
I don't know what that is like.
I do.
Sorry.
All right, we have finished chapter 6.
Oh.
Time for a Birdie Bots every flavored
Oh
bean.
my. Yeah.
Danny's so excited. I am not.
I'm going for a red one. I feel like this is safe.
Oh man, I'm not even looking at the colors.
Hopefully
'cause I
this
don't
is
wanna know.
like
Ooh.
gross.
Oh, this isn't good.
Oh, that was not good.
Did I get lucky again?
I got earthworm.
What am I eating
Earthworm?
right now?
Oh my god, this is atrocious.
What did you get, Danny?
I don't know, but it's not making my mouth feel good.
Do you want the garbage can?
I think I got green apple. You guys,
I got
I'm
cherry.
faring out well here.
Mm.
The girls are doing well.
Yeah.
I should have swallowed that.
Oh,
That
this was
so
rough.
bad.
Oh,
What was that?
What do I have to stay away from?
I know, right?
I mean, like, it wasn't as bad as like vomit or something, but it.
Vomit?
bad.
is
I also
in
don't
there?
know what an
Yeah.
earthworm or earwax tastes like.
You gotta look
at the
color.
Look on
Dirt.
this side.
Yeah, but if I look at the color, I'll know what it is ahead of time. I want to be surprised.
You still just take whatever falls out into your hand first, right?
Oh, even if I see it coming, I'm
Yeah.
just like, I've
Yeah.
seen
So
my
I
fate,
gotta
and
go
I
for it.
must
thought red
embrace
was going to
it.
be a safe one. I was like, oh, maybe I'll get
you
cherry
said red
or
and I
watermelon.
got red, and I was like,
I
okay.
got earthworm. What'd you get, cherry?
Ew.
Yeah.
Lucky.
I'm like, it tastes like the cough drops I've been chewing.
Okay, anyway, that earthworm is still in my mouth. But the next chapter is chapter 7, the sorting hat. What happens in this chapter?
They get sorted into their houses.
Crushed it!
Yes.
Nice, Kristen.
I mean, there's more stuff, but
Oh, they get sorted into their houses. There's just some wonderful lines in this. The very first, one of the best lines. Welcome to Hogwarts, said Professor McGonagall. As soon as she reads that, I get like little fuzzies. Like the best. We're at Hogwarts finally. This
Yay.
place we've heard about so much. Oh man, this is so good. So here's one of my first questions with this whole chapter. This sorting ceremony, they have to put the hat on their head and they get sorted because the hat like sees who they are, and then that's everything. If you guys created a school and you had 4 houses and the students had to get sorted into those houses, how would you go about sorting them into their houses?
I've thought about this.
Hmm.
I would create an obstacle course.
Ooh.
Like, you wouldn't tell which section was going to which house because the kids wouldn't know, but they'd have to like either solve puzzles or do like teamwork things, you know, and like each activity would kind of determine the character of the person, and then that would sort them into the.
Hmm.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I don't know how I thought of that, but it came to me and I was like, I want to do it.
yeah.
Like
Because it wouldn't even be the outcome of like how they like what the accomplishment of each thing was.
Hmm.
It was the character and how they solve it.
That's fascinating to me. I feel like that makes so much sense, but I'm interested. I'm like thinking of how the students would finish that. I feel like all Slytherins, they'd be in a race against each other almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'd be the first out there. They'd
Yes.
they're ambitious. They're fighting and clawing against things.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Ravenclaws would finish at different times because they're wise and they're like doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And then Gryffindors, some of them would be together, but like they'd go in small groups and like they'd fight obstacles with everything they had in them. And Hufflepuffs would literally all finish
Finish at the
together
same
in a
time.
big
Yep.
club.
Whoa.
The last people in the group, okay, they just throw you into Hufflepuff. You guys are loyal. You try to get through the maze, but you
Yeah,
couldn't.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you're all sticking with each other, so we're just gonna throw you in Hufflepuff.
Oh.
That's a
I
great
like
one.
it.
I love that.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
awesome.
I was excited about it. That's all I got.
Do you guys have any ideas?
No, I think I was just thinking a series of questions or maybe like an escape room. Like you go in a room and there are like literally 4 tables and they're like, you have to get out of this room. And whatever that idea is, like one table has a book on it. So they might go there first to look for clues. One has a key, one's got whatever. And each of those things would signify the house. So based on what that person goes after would determine what house they're in. Just like real basic, but yeah.
You have anything, Jen?
Not really that different. I mean, it was just like questions probably. But then I was thinking it would be interesting too if like the first year you weren't sorted yet.
Mm.
And you figured, and the whole year the professors were
Ooh,
watching.
I like that.
And at the end of the year, you get sorted into your house. So
I
freshman
love that.
year, it's kind of like you're all together. And then at the end of the year, you get sorted. And then that way, I don't know. That's what I thought.
I like it.
Because there's interesting notes in that about typing people quickly or like having them take a personality test when they're too young. I've heard studies of you don't want to give your kids like a personality test when they're young because they're still developing.
Yeah.
So like if they think this is who they are, that's who they'll become rather than like actually form.
Yeah.
I love that idea. Not typing kids too early.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be. I'm like, it takes me a really long time to like warm up to people, so no one would know like my personality traits if it was that kind of test or whatever.
Right.
And if you get thrown into like Slytherin, you're like, what does stupid hat know about me at all? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And if you're someone like Hermione who had no one to talk to about it, you've never heard of this stuff, and then you're like, you show up, yeah, I think you're Slytherin. Okay, you go. But Slytherin was mentioned to Harry, and he instantly was like, no, I don't want that. And the hat was like, all right, cool. We'll put you in Gryffindor then.
Yeah. I want to talk to you. We're gonna do the fun fact for the day because this is a perfect segue into it. Ilvermorny, the American school. It's in Massachusetts. Incredible. It's one of my favorite things that J.K. Rowling has written, just period.
Wait, she wrote something
about it?
She wrote
a very small article about it. It's such a fascinating read. How the school got started. I'm going to nerd out about this. She did the whole history of the school. It's beautiful. Like the founder came over on the Mayflower with the Puritans. Like I'm not going to go over the whole foundation of the school. I do want to go over it, but I won't go over it too at this moment. But she was a witch and she married a muggle, and or in America they're called no-mages, which is a little ridiculous. No-magic. So she married him, but they found 2 kids whose parents died. These 2 kids were magical. They ended up taking them under their wing. They became their parents, and they trained them, and this became like the school of Ilvermorny. Beautiful idea, but their sorting ceremony is the coolest to me. It's like a ringed arena. There's a balcony on top, and you step in through a door, each student one at a time, and you stand in front of this like carving on the floor. And there's 4 totem poles. It's like very Native American kind of style. There's a wampus carved into one. There's a horned serpent carved into the other. These are the houses: wampus, horned serpent, puckwidgie, which is it's described as like a goblin, like an American version of a goblin, but like much more mischievous, a little bit more grumpy. Kind of really cool. And Thunderbird is the other one. Most people want to be in Thunderbird. I'm in Wampus. But you stand in the middle.
You're in Wampus.
Yeah, I'm in Wampus.
Wait, what's Wampus again?
Is that a thing?
Just sounds
like an animal or something?
Yeah. I'll read this to you. So I'm gonna read. I have like a whole long description of the school here. How many
houses are you in all over the country?
I mean, every wizarding school. Are you kidding me? Okay, here we go. So the 2 founders were Iseult and James. So marble statues of Iseult and James this is on the website too, flank the front doors of Ilvermorny Castle. The doors open onto a circular room topped by a glass cupola. A wooden balcony runs around the room 1 floor above. Otherwise, the space is empty except for 4 enormous wooden carvings representing the houses: Horned Serpent, the Panther Wampus, the Thunderbird, and the Puckwidgie. While the rest of the school watches from the circular balcony overhead, new students file into the round entrance hall. They stand around the walls one by one and are called to stand on the symbol of the Gordian knot set in the middle of the stone floor. In silence, the school waits for the enchanted carvings to react. If the Horned Serpent wants a student, the crystal set in the forehead will light up. If the Wampus wants a student, it roars. The Thunderbird signifies its approval by beating its wings, and the Puckwidgie will raise its arrow into the air. Should more than one carving signify its wish to include the student in its house, the choice rests with the student. Very rarely, perhaps once a decade, a student is offered a place in all 4 houses. Sephirina Pickery, president of the U.S. Ministry of Magic, was the only witch of her generation so honored, and she chose Horned Serpent. It is sometimes said of Ilvermorny houses they represent the whole witch or wizard. The mind represented by the Horned Serpent, the body, the Wampus, the heart, Puckwidgie, and the soul, Thunderbird. Others say that the Horned Serpent favors scholars, Wampus, warriors, Puckwidgie, healers, and Thunderbird, adventurers. So it's very different from Hogwarts. I love it. I'm in Ilvermorny. I love Hogwarts with everything in me, but I am so proud of Ilvermorny, our American school over here. I am so proud of that thing. So that's your fun fact for the day. Ilvermorny School. It's the best.
I had no idea that
Panther?
existed, FYI.
Wampus.
There's all
It's a
sorts of other
panther?
schools. Yeah, it's like a wampus panther. It's like a large cat, kind of like a panther, but it's
Oh.
magical.
Mm.
So
So,
there's all sorts of
Cool.
other schools across. There's like I think 11 main ones. There's a lot of smaller ones, but there's one in Africa that it's the largest wizarding school. They specialize in non-wand magic, and like animal transformation. So they're very good at that. There's one.
What house are you in that?
I don't know if they have houses in that. I don't know. So I've only done a ton. I know a lot about this, but I don't know a lot about the other schools besides some of the main ones, besides 4 main ones. I mean, we won't get to that, but there's one in Japan, and they produce the best Quidditch players, by far the best Quidditch players. There's one in South America, in Brazil, I think, that they're like very good with plants and animals. If you want to like be a good studier of plants and animals, you go down there, or like herbology.
Maybe you should go
Would
there.
that be you?
I know. I would love that. I would definitely go down there. And then there's another one
Did
in
you get a letter
France.
from
There's
Are you
another
going in
one in
September?
France, and then there's another one in the north. No one really knows exactly where it is, but it's up in the north.
Wait, you said in
That's
France?
Cool.
the North Pole?
No, it is in the north of France, but there's another one in like Romania, Russia. No one's positive. It's the best hidden school, and no one really knows where it is. So there's like other schools. Guys, I will nerd out about this. There's your fun fact for the day.
So great.
I had no idea. I just knew about Hogwarts.
Back to Hogwarts, because we are sorting at Hogwarts. Okay, very quickly, we're going to talk about this later too, but I just want to know what house you guys are in Hogwarts.
I am in Ravenclaw.
Okay, we have a Ravenclaw.
I'm in Hufflepuff.
And I'm in Gryffindor.
And I am in Hufflepuff. So we have 2 Hufflepuffs here, a Ravenclaw and a Gryffindor. No Slytherins. That would have been great if 4 of us
That
were
would have
different
been
things.
so
That would have
good.
been cool.
Oh.
But
I
like,
took
who
the
was
quiz
going to
a
be
couple
Who wants
times.
to
I
be in
almost tried to get
Slytherin?
Slytherin, and I just couldn't do it.
Did you?
Like, I was like, what if I answer like?
But
my
we probably
second
wouldn't be
English?
friends with them, would we? Would we be friends with them if they were Slytherin?
Okay, this is a really big area.
You're
of contention.
talking like a Slytherin right now, Jen.
So this is one
Ooh.
thing that I like more about Ilvermorny than I do about Hogwarts, is that there's a specific house devoted to bad people in Hogwarts.
like that's our
Yeah.
perspective, but couldn't that be slanted?
Very true. Very
because
true.
I feel like I'm reading this and I'm like, I'm seeing some things where they're like, it's not all bad.
Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah.
don't talk down to him.
I mean, the greatest villain. Am I giving anything away?
No, that's already come up.
Yeah.
I think Ron said it.
Doubting
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
that
no.
I'm
Yeah.
No, it's good. Always
I know.
check yourself just in case.
Wait,
but
stop.
no, that's known. I think Hagrid might have even said it. But we
Yeah.
know that Hagrid
Right.
and Ron don't like Slytherin.
Yes.
Yeah. But is it personal experiences
Right.
of someone that they, experienced?
Well, Harry has.
Because
a
I was
great-
gonna say, it's the character of the people,
Yeah.
Mm,
individually.
yeah.
They just get a bad rap.
So there's another interesting point in this book where Seamus Finnegan and Neville Longbottom, it took them a long time to get sorted. From the very little that you know about them, why do you think it took a long time for them to get sorted, and what other house do you think they were possibly going to be in?
Wait, I don't remember Seamus.
Neville.
Do we know him?
Seamus is not mentioned a ton in the books, in the first
Okay.
book. Neville is more. So let's just talk about
Yeah,
Neville,
Neville.
I guess, specifically. What other house do you think he was going to get sorted into?
Well, he's always getting hurt, and he's like weak and like flimsy. I feel like so like brave is right a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Like character trait. I'm like, yeah, maybe not really that. But what would be the other? I mean, where else would he go? I don't. Witty.
I mean, he might have a dark
Raven?
side.
Yeah, seriously, he could have a dark side too. You
But
never
I'm
know.
hoping it was more a hesitation because he's not brave, but he will be.
Hmm.
So maybe
It
the
could-
hat
it
can
could
see like
see in
his
the
potential.
future?
No, not like that, like the future. Although, well, I don't know the hat, maybe. But I was just thinking like they can see people's heart a little more.
Hmm.
Like he's brave inside.
Because there's all sorts of
I like
lines
that.
about bravery. Like bravery isn't, you can only be brave when you're scared. And Neville almost always has that opportunity because he's always terrified or he's always being bullied.
Interesting.
So I feel like he has the
Yeah.
most potential for
But we
bravery.
don't know that yet.
Well, we do because he's like, he loses his toad. Like people call him like a.
Okay, right.
Hmm.
That's happened. I'm trying to think like what happened.
In these chapters,
so-
even the Remembrall
Sorting Hat.
happens where he gets like picked on and he loses the Remembrall.
That's after I thought.
Yeah, that's in chapter. Oh yeah, that's maybe chapter 11 or 12.
I did some studying.
Okay.
Hasn't
I'll
happened
slow down.
yet.
I'll slow down. But
That's the first thing.
I think he has a lot of potential for being brave.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like he might have been the bravest in a sense, even to come to Hogwarts, because I mean the other people didn't seem that worried.
Mm.
Ron didn't have anything to worry about. Harry was kind of like, "Let's go, let's see what happens."
Mm.
But he might have had some emotional journey that morning.
Mm.
I don't know. I like Neville.
He is great. I love him. I don't know why it took so long for them to get sorted, though. I was trying to like find things.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading here. It says, how do you say his name? I was not pronouncing that right.
Seamus Finnegan?
Yeah, I was calling him Seamus. No, it says, I'm half and half. Seamus says, me dad's a muggle. Ma'am didn't tell him she was a witch till
Dad's
after
a
they were
muggle.
married. And then he asks Neville, and he says, well, my gran brought me up and she's a witch. But the family thought I was all muggle for ages. So I was like, I don't know. I don't dive deep like you guys do. But I found that and I was like, oh, they're both there. So I don't know if there's something there.
Neville's whole story is interesting too, because even like how his family tries to irk magic out of him, like throwing him out of a
Oh.
window,
Oh my
and that's
gosh,
how
yeah.
he became magical. Is that he just bounced up and everyone is so happy. I'm like,
That's terrible.
get Child Protective Services in there right now.
Right?
What happens if
Throwing
he didn't
the-
bounce
I
up?
thought-
Well, that's what I was
window, I know.
thinking. I'm like, well, bye,
Well,
Neville.
They are magical, so they could probably mend his
That's
bones
true.
or something.
That's
like
what I'm
that, but-
thinking.
Yeah.
There are enough things here where safety is not a priority.
Yeah.
Ever.
So I feel like they got some great wizard doctors.
Mm.
But it's interesting that that is Neville's issue, that he didn't show magic very quickly. It's almost like he's just very scared, very fearful. It's almost like he's almost numb to the magical world to a bit. And it's just I love that he's in Gryffindor. I think it's great.
Yeah. Good old Neville.
Okay, where do the ghosts come from now?
That was such an interesting question because
Wait, where do they come up?
So
Oh,
they-
that's like when they first get into Hogwarts and the ghosts are there, like a little
Yep.
bit. I have no idea. Feels
because I was like,
mysterious.
oh, it's like the wizards when they die, they turn into ghosts. But then I'm like, no, like that would be no.
Wait, why do you say no? That could be it, right?
No, because like, what about Harry's parents? Then wouldn't they be ghosts
Oh, that is a
somewhere
great
in
point.
Hogwarts?
Okay. Could
So
they
then
be?
Did
I know that's
Did-
what I thought of.
did
too.
these ones get killed in Hogwarts?
Oh, like
I'm
killed
just thinking
in
that now.
Hogwarts.
Like,
they get
yeah.
to stay. Oh, that's such a classic ghost thing. Like,
Maybe.
right?
Huh.
They haunt where they were
Yeah.
when they died.
I have no idea.
Or maybe if another wizard
There's not
kills
that
someone,
are there a lot
that
of
like
ghosts?
blocks the ghost status.
What did you say?
Well, like I was just thinking why Harry's parents wouldn't be ghosts. Even though I guess we can't rule that out. It would be if another wizard is the one that kills them, it would kind of block them from ghost afterlife stuff. But if a muggle kills a wizard, then maybe they get to be a ghost, or maybe only certain types of deaths.
How could a muggle kill a wizard?
Bad wizards, or there's like maybe wizards are so loyal to the rules of where they can use magic that they are willing to die to keep it a secret.
Wow.
That's dedication.
Or maybe the Salem witch trials here in the States all came
Oh.
out of real wizards.
That was big. It's a big part of Ilvermorny School.
Whoa. Oh, and that's in Massachusetts too?
Yeah, I know.
Mind blown.
There's some really good lines in here too, with not necessarily with a ghost, but with like even with Dumbledore. I love he goes, before we begin our banquet, I would like to say a few words. And here they are. Nitwit, blubber, oddment, tweak. The next line. Is he a bit mad? He asked Percy uncertainly. Mad, said Percy airily. He's a genius. Best wizard in the world. But he is a bit, yes. He's mad. Potatoes, Harry? I love that.
So casual.
I know. Like they all know, like this guy's out of his mind, but he's the best wizard in the world.
Yeah, madness kind of comes with genius.
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
And then there's another great line because Harry's being sorted right now. And on his head, the hat goes, you could be great, you know. It's all here in your head. And Slytherin will help you on your way to greatness. No doubt about that.
Mm.
No? Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor. Why do you think Harry was potentially going to be sorted into Slytherin?
Well, it does. The hat is saying he could be great. With great power comes great responsibility. So maybe that's why all the wizards who go to Slytherin, they are great, but that's what corrupts them.
Power corrupts, yeah.
Or could it be Voldemort connection?
Maybe.
That's a reach.
Yeah, I haven't like formed my own theory why he could have been in Slytherin. I've tried, but come up with something.
And then on a completely different note, do you know what a poltergeist is?
Oh my gosh, I did not.
Neither
I had
did
no idea. Now I do.
I still what is it? Can you explain it to me? Because
Yeah,
I barely know what it is.
ghosts-
I've read this
Okay.
10 times and I don't know what
Ghosts can't like move things. They'll just go through it. A poltergeist can actually like knock things over. They can physically make
interesting.
sounds or like knock things over.
it is. But is it a version of a ghost? Like, did
yeah.
Peeves die and become a poltergeist?
I think so. Yeah.
I never.
But
I
that's
never
so weird to me.
understood
How
that,
do you die? Like if you're a wizard. Besides,
What do you mean? Wizards die?
She's like, wizards don't die. In my head, they live forever.
I mean, just mute me.
That's the theme of the night. Jen, talk. It's good.
No.
Wait, where is a poltergeist mentioned?
It says Peeves is just a poltergeist.
So Peeves is a poltergeist, but the other ones aren't.
Are ghosts.
Yeah, I totally missed that distinction.
Hmm.
That's interesting.
Wait, how long did wizards live for?
Some of them a long time. Wait, Dumbledore's really old, right?
Yeah, some wizards get old. We'll see how old some wizards get in a
Ooh,
In a bit.
intriguing.
But that'll be a byline, and that's one of the bigger themes of the whole book too. So we'll keep talking about that. But the next chapter is called The Potions Master, and I need a description of this chapter from one of you. But before we give a description,
No.
Yay!
shots of jelly beans.
Jen, we've been lucky so far.
I am taking one that looks disgusting. It is like brownish gray.
Oh no. This scares me.
This is gonna be
All right, I'm
bad.
gonna actually look at this now so I can identify later.
I want to do it.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
Ugh.
Oh, watermelon. That was good.
Me too.
No.
I had watermelon also.
watermelon.
booger.
Kristen is running for the garbage. Gonna narrate for the people.
I got sausage. That is one of the wildest things.
Uh-oh. You haven't tasted sausage in forever.
That's so long. This is my vegan way to eat sausage.
Plant-based. Just so everyone knows, he's plant-based.
Ew, that was really gross.
Booger?
Yeah.
Can't imagine that was good.
Wait, how'd you know it was booger so fast?
Because it tasted really bad and then I looked.
You're like, ooh, I hate this, guys. I don't
Whatever,
do this
Danny.
all the time.
Okay, someone give me a description of chapter 8.
All right, I'm just scanning where it ends.
I don't remember this chapter at all.
I'll just do this real quick. It's essentially just where he meets Snape, the potion master. Very simple chapter.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So there's a few. This isn't like a very long chapter, so there's just a few things that I do want to talk about. We're kind of talking about a bit more about Harry's scar here. So just on a fun note, if you had a cool scar, like where would you want it and what would you want it of? Kind of like a tattoo question, I guess.
I was
nice.
laughing because when I read this question, I was like, well, I want the tattoo that I want.
Yeah, well,
if I can choose. It's like how do I describe this? It's half compass, half bow and arrow. Put it on the back of my
really
shoulder.
No, I was going to say I have a similar scar to Harry. I have a scar. You can't see it, but I have one right on my forehead right here. But no one would be able to really see it. But so I was like, oh, I can relate. I have a little one here.
So how'd you get it?
I was a kid playing in the tire playground, and I was coming out of the ground level, and some boy fell on top of my head as I was coming out, and I smacked my head down into. Remember the playground had like gravel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gravel.
Don't go into detail.
I'm not. And yeah,
I will be
so I
passed
have
out
a
on the
scar
floor.
here from that, but you wouldn't be able to see it. But in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I have one similar.
Oh,
I
you're
do
like
too.
Harry.
Side of my head. Melanoma. I have a massive lightning bolt scar. Literally, it's like a lightning bolt scar from almost the very top of my head down to my ear. And it's just covered by my hair, so it's kind of nice. But I have a Harry Potter scar on the side of my head.
Goodness.
That's
We're so
cool.
excited about that.
Yeah.
The
I got it. I was like,
Did you
hey.
request that from the doctor?
I did. I said, can you make it like a lightning
I
bolt?
knew it.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to look as close to her.
You're like, I gave him a picture of it. Plastic surgeon, just do it this way. I don't care.
You have any ideas, Danny?
Got none. I don't think I ever like wished for a scar, but if it was something cool with a good story, I'd be down.
Yeah. I have there's another scar I have on my knee that it's just 2 little dots, and it was because I was trying to do a backflip on a trampoline, and I hit my butt, and then I hit my heel right after. My heel went straight up into my legs when I had braces.
Oh, yikes.
So I have 2 little dots there on my knee.
That's great.
Anyway, moving on. Okay, we're gonna talk about shipping Harry a little bit. Do you think Harry's gonna get married? And if so, do you think he'd marry any of the people who are introduced in the book so far? This could be just a throwing off question.
I don't really see him getting married.
He's an independent man.
He seems like an independent man, but also he's pretty young. Maybe he's not into girls yet. They
Yeah.
still have cooties. I get it. But also, oh, maybe I'm thinking ahead. Like they're our age, the actors. So when the movies end, 7 of them, he'll be in whatever, like 12th grade
12th
equivalent.
grade, pretty much. Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I'm like 12th graders getting married.
Yeah.
Wizards might do things weird. I don't know. I could kind of see Harry and Hermione, but it feels like that would cheapen what they're building now. So I hope it doesn't go that way.
And then there's another idea in this too. I just want to talk about for a bit. Why do you think Snape hates Harry? Is it just like one of those, let me pick a student and rag on them? Because there's a line in there where it says this: at the start of the term banquet, Harry had got the idea that Professor Snape disliked him. By the end of the first potion lessons, he knew he'd been wrong. Snape didn't dislike Harry; he hated him.
Well, also, I feel like maybe because the name, like Harry Potter's famous, and maybe he doesn't like that. I don't know.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe he's jealous
Yeah.
in a way.
Wait,
it sounds weird to be jealous of a kid, but that happens.
Yeah. Is he Slytherin, Snape?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I mean, because I was kind of thinking it was a little bit of that. Like he's really proud of his house.
Yeah.
Maybe he's even mad that he thought Harry was going to go to Slytherin.
Well, he's the head of the house too, so
Hmm.
you guys, like, we haven't quite gone over that. There's no spoilers for that, but there's head of houses, and Snape is Slytherin's head of house.
Mm.
And there's even like a line in the previous chapter that's, I think, an interesting one where Harry just, from Harry's perspective, it says it happened suddenly. The hook-nosed teacher looked past Quirrell's turban straight into Harry's eyes, and a sharp, hot pain shot across the scar on Harry's forehead. Even just like lines like that make you think, why was he looking into Harry's eyes, and then why did a pain go across him? And like, why does Snape just hate Harry in general? Start.
Gotta be a backstory, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what that is yet.
I think the more interesting question is Fang a boar? Or is he a dog?
Am I the only one that thought
No,
that?
it's so interesting. Okay, Jen, you did think he was a boar, right?
Yep.
I
did.
probably had 3 other people who have read this and they thought he was a boar too. Where like they saw a picture of Fang and I like showed them a picture in the illustrated book that I have. And they're like, he's a dog? What? I thought he was a boar.
I'm glad
It
I'm
says
not
he
the
was a
only
boar
one.
hound. So it's kind of
I
confusing.
missed the hound part completely.
I was going to say it's interesting, though, how people read, because it's like, obviously, multiple people have picked up just the first part of that word.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you just disregarded the rest of it.
Yeah.
Well,
It almost
yeah.
makes sense too. Like I feel like Hagrid would have a boar.
That's what
with
I'm
him.
saying. Like, to
Right.
me, that seemed more like,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, fitting.
At first, I thought it was like some different creature, like not a dog or a boar, just some like fantasy creature. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, but
He would look so cool with a boar, though. Like the wiry hair, like the little
yeah.
like tusks that come out, and like following him around. It would just
I
be.
like it. A little Pumbaa to go with them.
You should
Yes.
change it.
That's incredible.
Cross out
Yep.
the hound.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Right?
I'm like
It's
thinking of all the
marketing.
magical animals I'd like want to have on my side, or like just a normal animal. I would love like a fox. Oh, it'd be so cool. Just like have a fox follow you around everywhere.
You have a baby
Kinda do.
deer.
I got a little dog right here in my office right now, just hanging out with me. So cute.
Is he named after anything with Harry Potter?
That's a shame.
Well,
Missed opportunity.
Wesley, my dog's name is Wesley, and part of the reason is because Weasley, but I didn't want to name him Weasley because that's just like, what am I? I'm gonna just sit and call him Weasley.
Yes.
There you go.
Like
So a slight
Weasel. I was
connection.
rolling around with Weasel for a little bit, and then Wesley kind of just fit. Like, let me knock off the A and just call him Wesley. So it's a slight ode to the Weasleys.
I knew there was some Harry
There you
Potter
go.
in
Yeah,
there.
come on, of course.
I know. Listen to you.
Yeah. We're literally doing a podcast on Harry Potter.
On
And
top
then,
of everything else.
What are your first impressions of Snape and McGonagall? So we've already talked about McGonagall a little bit before, but this is kind of our first of Snape. What are your first impressions of both of them as a character?
I feel like Snape should not be a teacher.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's weird because it feels like he doesn't like kids at all. But I feel like he does like magic, and he is motivated by something. Like he wants to teach the next generation, maybe. Like he wants other wizards in the world, but it feels like he's doing it out of duty. He also hates kids. So I'm like, it'd be nice if there was a way for him to impart his wisdom on the next generation or other wizards without him having to interact with kids.
Mhm.
Maybe he wanted to be a college professor stuck in elementary school. Something about it is a little weird. It's off.
But does he like the Slytherin kids? I can't remember. Like,
Maybe
is he
he's
just
more like
very
McGonagall
biased?
to his Slytherin people. Maybe.
Yeah. He seems very biased,
Yeah.
obviously, toward Harry Potter, but like, it just seems like there's that bias. He'll stand by his Slytherin kids, but like you said, you don't want to do that as a teacher. That's
That
not
is
okay.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We are on to chapter 9. Everyone, shot of a jelly bean. Birdie Bott's
Why do
every
I keep
flavored
forgetting?
You're trying to
Every
make us
time.
all forget.
Now I'm really scared. I don't want to do this again.
Oh boy, I have a feeling this is the one you had, John.
Oh, no.
I'm going for
Can I warn myself?
it's a green and brown one.
This is brown
yep.
speckled.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
vomit,
weird.
you guys.
I don't think so.
I got watermelon. This is so delicious.
Oh, it's
my gosh.
sausage. Yeah, it's
Weird, right?
Oh, is this sausage too? What is it?
Hmm.
Oh, it is sausage.
Weird, right?
Ew, yeah.
I keep getting someone else to have the same flavor as me.
Ew.
What did
I
you
don't like
get,
it.
Danny?
I don't know. The coloring, it looks like earwax, but it didn't taste bad.
Didn't taste like
It's
earwax.
like- I'm like, I don't know what the flavor was, but it's not like making me want to vomit. So
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 you like
you
probably
like
earwax.
wasn't that one. Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna start eating earwax now.
What did I think it was earwax? It just wasn't that bad.
Oh, that sausage was weird.
right.
That was
Mm.
very
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a fan.
All right. This chapter is called The Midnight Duel. What happens in this chapter?
One was long, right?
This was a very long chapter. Yeah.
Oh, so this is the one where Harry and Draco get they make plans to have a duel, and it leads to quite a series of events where Harry and Ron discover something.
Mm.
Why can't I remember what caused the duel?
He was like he told
Yeah,
me meet me
look.
at this place.
Did it just come out of nowhere?
Because they were fighting each other beforehand, weren't they?
Okay.
Like
Mhm.
the day before or that day, and then
Yeah.
it was like we're gonna meet here and finish this
Okay,
fight type
yeah.
thing.
Look at you guys with your descriptions. This is great.
We're getting there.
The chapter kind of, I love how the chapter opens. Harry had never believed he would meet a boy he hated more than Dudley. But that was before he had met Draco Malfoy.
There you go.
Love it. So Neville gets a remember all. Would you want to have a remember all? Do you like that magical object?
I mean, I'm forgetting things all the time. Unless it's going to actually tell me what I'm forgetting, it's no help.
Yeah,
Hmm.
agreed.
Like, it's just a
True.
reminder, like, oh, you're forgetting something.
What?
Poor Neville. Like, he's like, I'm forgetting something.
It
What
just
is it? What is
constantly
it?
glows for him.
It's so
That would be
stressful.
so frustrating.
Imagine if that was like your phone. You just like, you're like, remind me of something. And every like 10 minutes, it
Yeah.
started glowing red, reminding you of something.
I'd
that
be
you forgot.
stressed all day long.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
more
terrible.
annoying.
I
than
feel like you could
helpful.
wear it as a necklace maybe, and then as you're leaving a room, it starts to glow. You're like, oh, my phone. Let me turn around and get it.
Mm.
Like something like that. But it does feel like it's lacking some missing features to really bring it to the next level.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are kind of in full Hogwarts mode here. They are.
Oh,
in
this is where they do
classes.
the broomstick stuff. They're flying in this chapter, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is where they're learning to fly. So they have their first flying lesson with Madam Hooch. So we'll talk about that in a second. But what so far for the classes that Harry is taking, what class do you think intrigues you the most? So like potions, transfigurations, charms, defense against the dark arts, history of magic.
Transfiguration.
Yeah, I think I was going to go
Yeah.
with that one too. Either that or potions, because that just sounds fun.
Yeah, potion. But that's
Mixing
with
things,
Snape,
you know?
isn't it?
Oh,
But forget about
yeah.
the teacher right now.
Okay.
Just the subject
That
matter.
makes a big difference, John.
Yeah.
Don't you know
Oh,
that?
okay.
Remove him. I'll go with potions. That sounds fun.
Potions would be fun. I never really liked chemistry in high school, but
Oh, me neither.
potions would kind of be fun.
Yeah, now it interests me.
Yeah.
Like everything that
How
I
it
was
always
not
goes.
interested in school, I'm interested in now.
So this was a chapter where they have their first flying lesson, and Neville falls off his broom. Now, is that a Neville issue or is that a broomstick issue?
Both. Probably.
Wait, what do you mean broomstick?
Neville.
Like, it's just the worst broomstick ever because all
Yeah.
the kids are borrowing it. It's
Like
gross.
this is the description. Wham! And thus a nasty crack, and Neville lay face down on the grass in a heap. His broomstick was still rising higher and higher and started to drift lazily toward the forbidden forest and out of sight. My thing is, Neville's already not a
Oh.
confident person,
Mm.
but he just had a faulty broom, and he gets made fun of more, so I feel terrible for Neville.
Oh yeah,
But he
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
a bad flyer. He just had a bad broom that was
That's just
flying
his luck.
lazily. I know. It was
Well-
the luck of Neville Longbottom.
He also
100%.
was nervous and jumpy.
Yeah, kind of true.
And frightened of being left on the ground. He pushed off hard before the whistle had touched Madam Hooch's lips.
See, combination.
A combination. I think that was a bit premature. Poor Neville. I love his energy, but
Well, I feel like the energy portrays into the broom, right? It kind of reminds me of like horseback riding. Like if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like
Can
on the
sense you.
horse,
Yeah.
they sense you, and they're like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want because you have no control over this, and I'm gonna go.
Right.
That's kinda true.
And, Yeah.
Broomsticks have that.
So if Neville is not confident and he's like scared, the broom is gonna do whatever it wants, and by default, it went to the forbidden, or in the direction.
Real safe. It's better
of
that he fell off.
Yeah.
that's true, actually. Yeah, you're right.
We're going
Did
to talk
the
about some
broom come
movies
back
too.
with him when he fell, or did it keep going? It has to stop once the rider's off,
It
or
didn't
does
hear.
it keep
It
going?
kept going.
It just kept
on
going.
its own.
This
Okay.
part did
I
get me a little
missed
bit.
that, I guess.
Because it just felt like I wrote, don't they plan for safety at all? Because I would think maybe there's a practice broom. That's not a real broom. It's just on the ground where you can practice your form first. You
There we
know?
go. See, we have a real teacher here.
Maybe some cushions in the gymnasium and you can like something more controlled, or at least a spell where the ground is squishy for a bit. But instead the kid's just up and falling and like smashing to the ground.
Madam Hooch is a garbage instructor.
But,
I would,
like,
I would live and die by
She
this.
sees a kid fall. Like, shouldn't she be able to do something?
And then she leaves all
Freeze
the
him
other
in the
kids
air.
Yeah.
with their broomsticks.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
It just threatens them.
Yeah.
If you go on your broomstick, you'll be out of here faster than you can say
She
Quidditch.
could have put a spell on the brooms that just pause, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they can't
There you
move.
Like, she is a witch. Do something about it, lady. Like, that drives me crazy.
But see, I think that goes back to this theory that's just growing, where safety doesn't matter because anything that could possibly happen to these kids can be fixed by the doctor later. So it all just contributes to them learning the hard way sometimes.
Yeah.
But like it's like, hey,
still
let them
hurts,
fall.
though.
I was going to
Let
say
'em-
through very
Sure.
traumatic episodes
Yeah,
for these
yeah.
children.
But pain is different if there's no long-term impact, you know? So then it's like, all right, what if he breaks an arm? Yeah, it stinks, but he can just get fixed and he's good to go.
Yeah.
Thank you for protecting my Crocs, everyone.
Got it.
Yeah, I there's definitely like an element of like, you just have to learn the hard way. If you fall off your broom, that's your issue. We'll mend your bones, but you're gonna have to endure the pain of walking up to the hospital wing with a broken leg or a broken wrist or whatever it is, you know. But I still think she's a garbage teacher.
Yeah, very poor technique.
For sure.
So Harry this whole drama happens. Harry catches the remember all. It's like a great written scene too. We'll go back and read that one. It's kind of fun. Like Harry saws in slow motion the ball rise up in the air and then he started to fall. And like he just tracks the whole thing. But he gets caught by McGonagall. What did you guys initially think when you read this chapter was going to happen to Harry as soon as he got caught?
Oh, he was getting in trouble.
Oh
Yeah?
yeah.
McGonagall Miss Strict over here.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was getting a whooping.
Done. He was done.
Expelled?
Not expelled.
I don't know that.
And the books
extreme,
are done.
but-
Done.
and that's it.
Just in big trouble.
Mm.
I don't know.
McGonagall is very stern.
Oh yeah. But then she also dropped off Harry at the Dursleys. So she cares. Never mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
Going way
strict
back.
does translate to caring.
Mm.
She's
Yeah.
very caring. There's a funny, this won't spoil anything, but there's a funny fan theory out there that McGonagall has a crippling gambling addiction.
That is
That's
funny.
hilarious.
It's one of my favorite fan theories out there. And that she is betting on certain things that happen to get out of debt, and she's like an insider trading,
That is awesome.
and she's orchestrating all sorts of things that happen. So like she will place a bet on like Hogwarts to win the Quidditch Cup, and she breaks all the rules to
My.
let this incredible player come on. So
Yeah.
she gets Harry, and I guarantee you she's going to her bookie after this to be like, give me 10,000 galleons on
Whoa.
on freaking Gryffindor to win the next match against
How do
Slytherin.
people
or
come up
something.
with this stuff?
People have too much time, but it's so
Oh my
funny.
goodness,
I love it
that's
so much.
amazing,
Also, do you guys think it's a bit too early to make Harry Seeker after just one nice remember all catch? Like-
Probably. Might be a little premature.
Yeah. Like it
Could've been
could've
luck
just
of the
be-
draw.
Yeah, beginner's luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. I feel like it's like it says a lot. I mean, that was really like tiny thing for his first time ever. If he could do that the first time ever, then he's
Yeah.
definitely very skilled.
Something he could do without being taught. He's
True.
a natural.
Yeah, it's kind of true. It is very different from a lot of other sports. Like sometimes someone can like you throw a basketball in a basket and like a hoop, and it just be luck of the draw. And everyone knows you're terrible at basketball because you're like shooting it underhand or something like that. But this is something different. You're flying on a broom. It's like pretty impressive.
True.
Yeah, there's like multiple things going on. It's not
Mm.
just catching something.
Mm. So all this drama happens after this too, where they kind of get in a fight and they say, "Meet me midnight. We're gonna have a duel." Yada yada yada. There's some funny lines in this where they're picking seconds, and Ron's like, "Oh, the second happens, and if they kill the first, and the second takes his place." And then,
Yeah.
I laughed out loud at that part.
yeah, it's a great one. So Goyle's not second. Crabbe gets picked second. Goyle gets thrown out, but Ron becomes Harry second. They kind of have this whole thing. But on their way out, they pass Neville. Do you think it's irresponsible for the fat lady to be taking a stroll in the middle of the night when her literal job is to make sure
Yep.
people can come into the
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But she's a real person.
painting?
I know, but like, so then where are
They
you
move.
going?
Paintings can move from painting to painting.
Mm.
Well, she was on her break.
Yeah, maybe
She's
it's like
working hard all
it's a
day.
union.
She's
But
like,
then
wonder-
why are
can't
kids
she-
going in and out
I wonder if she
anyway?
does it on purpose though. Like teach the kids a lesson. If you're not supposed to be out at a certain time, I'm leaving. Bye.
Yeah. I like that.
Ooh.
That's very true because there are a lot of good consequences. Like we were even talking about that before, good consequences for your actions for students. So like, you just gotta learn the hard way.
Right. And Neville, poor Neville.
Oh.
Bring a sleeping bag wherever you go.
Yeah.
And then this duel happens, and they come into contact with good old Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Is Hogwarts really safe?
Oh, that.
Because
That's just
Hagrid
like
said
so
there's no
random.
safer place to keep something except for Hogwarts. He was talking about Gringotts.
Hmm.
He thinks Gringotts is the safest place ever. Is Hogwarts really safe?
Seems like not.
Yeah. I mean, if these kids can just stumble into this room on accident, it's probably not that safe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I think ultimately there has to be some backup plan. Again, to the doctors, some powerful doctors. What if a dog does eat you up? Maybe they could put you back together. I don't know. Or like, it just feels like in order to trust Dumbledore, which I do for some reason, I'm like, he's not letting these kids die, but he maybe just experience things or go through pain or whatever. It must be a safe place. Otherwise, it's too hard to think of it as being real. Otherwise, I'd be like, this would never happen. Why would? So I'm going in with the mentality of, I will find the reason that it would be possible or safe.
You want it to be safe.
Yeah, like, and all these parents of the wizard families, they went there too. So they know exactly what it's like, but they wouldn't be sending their kids there unless you graduate and then they're like, aha, remember that troll? It was just a hologram, not real. Like never real danger. It was like something. So I feel like it must be safe or dangerous to the wrong people.
Or was it always safe until Voldemort came into power?
I feel like if there's an aspect of it, the safety that's kind of just attributed to Dumbledore too.
Yeah.
Like, because Dumbledore's there, it's safe. And the castle's safe too. You talked about that before, but
I just think it's funny that Dumbledore like said when they first got there, was it a wing that he said like is restricted or whatever?
yeah.
I'm like, you tell kids that, they're gonna go. Like come on.
Just lock it magically. Like you're a great wizard. Lock the thing magically and just don't tell anybody about it.
Right.
So if like a student goes and tries to unlock the door, they can't.
Exactly.
Don't put a 3-headed dog where it can literally rip off a student's head as soon as they walk in the door.
Isn't that, like, consequences though? Like I told you not to do this.
The consequence of your head getting ripped off.
Well, apparently they can fix it in like a wand snap and
but then again, Snape didn't get fixed, and he had that cut, and that seems kind of basic. But
it wasn't like just a cut. It was like
it was big. It was a big deal.
Yeah, he was like limping.
Or maybe he would have to go to the doctor wing to get it fixed, and he didn't want to.
Too prideful.
Yeah,
for sure. He would be too prideful for that.
But he couldn't do it himself.
That's a great question.
Oh yeah,
Heal himself with a little spell.
It might be a special kind of spell.
I can't look at you two.
Well, that would be a pretty powerful spell. Are there spells that are off limits?
Does every wizard and witch have the ability to heal themselves?
That's a great question.
Are certain people more prone to certain types of spells?
Well, like taking the wand quiz, I feel like there is.
I mean, there's definitely professions. Like there's a whole house in Ilvermorny devoted to healers.
So not all of them can heal.
Some people are better at certain things than others. Like that's why McGonagall's a transfiguration professor. And
you're
Snape
right.
is a potions master.
Yeah.
So, but I thought he wanted to do the dark.
Yeah.
Defense against the dark arts.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Why do you think? Yeah, that's an interesting one. Like, are there some spells that are off limits?
Yeah, like across the board. It just made me think.
Yeah, no, that was a good point.
If there was a spell that was off limits, what do you think that spell would be?
To kill someone?
I was gonna say obviously killing.
Right.
Probably be up there.
Kill things with like lots of. So I think like maybe murder in general would be off limits, like normal society, but.
Or to make someone evil, can you do a spell like that?
Or a spell to make someone fall in love. I'm just thinking of the Aladdin wish.
I was like, why does that sound familiar?
Yeah. But I'm also thinking of Star Wars because there's Palpatine who's like the dark side unlocks like things you can't even imagine. So I have that in my head. Like there might be some dark things that they're off limits.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't even teach it in class or they don't even reference it. They burned those books. Too powerful.
And you brought up a good point too, Jen. I think it's an interesting question. Why do you think that Snape isn't the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher?
Right. Didn't it? I don't know where it is in the book, but at some point they're saying that he wanted that.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
I forget what
mentioned.
Chapter that was.
Like I don't think that's later in the book, right? I could be wrong. I don't know. I feel like
but
that's
then
like.
I'm going into the next book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That is
gonna
true.
crank these out. Maybe we'll cut that question.
Nice.
All right, we are
No,
on.
that's a fair question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a
Even
really good
before,
question.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, again.
All right, we are on chapter 10. Shots. This is the last
Nice.
chapter. Of this
Yeah,
one.
nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Shake it up.
I don't want to end on vomit, you guys.
Will you vomit?
I don't know.
Kind of
I hope
do.
not.
I need
Oh,
to
free came out.
experience it.
Going with this one.
Oh.
What was it?
Oh, man.
Was it vomit?
Really bad.
I think I got a good one.
That's rotten egg.
Oh.
That's rotten egg. Whoa.
I got candy floss.
Oh.
I ended on a happy note. John, what did you get? If you could see their faces right now.
Oh my
What
This
is
is
it?
disgusting. I have no idea what it is yet.
What
I
color was it?
can't
You're eating it?
What color
You're
was
like
it?
swallowing it. I spit that
I'm like
out.
getting weird taste. I'm like trying to taste it. I don't want to like move my tongue.
yeah. Try to sit in the taste.
This is disgusting.
I didn't know that we had to swallow it.
Mine was
I
cinnamon,
spit mine
but
out.
it wasn't good.
What was yours?
What was it?
Cinnamon. It sounds like
Oh.
it should be tasty, but it
Yeah.
wasn't.
I'm happy.
That don't get it.
I think mine was rotten egg with you.
I'm always getting
atrocious.
compared to someone. That
That
you
was so
swallowed
bad.
It? Oh, that first 2 bites, I was done. I give you
Oh my
credit.
gosh.
That was really
I
disgusting.
don't know. I'm really, really happy I didn't get that.
What'd you get?
I had
Sorry.
candy floss.
Sorry, oh man, lucky.
What?
It was really good. It was
I
like
blocked
bubblegum.
everything out of my mind.
Or
when I
like
was eating
cotton
that.
candy.
Ugh.
Find one of those. It's pink.
was
That
gross.
was so disgusting.
Eat a yummy one. Get the
I don't
taste
know
out.
which one
No.
that is. So
No, find it. That
Rotten
Pink
eggs
one.
is real bad.
Yeah, that
You-
was the one that we just both got.
You
It's just going
voluntarily.
out now.
Are you gonna swallow it?
Ugh.
Jen,
I don't
find,
think I got a
find a
vomit
plain
in
pink
here.
one. That one was really good.
Plain. pink.
Yeah, it was like the light bubblegum
Oh,
pink.
This is really weird.
Okay,
Are you still chewing
let's crank
it?
out these chapters. I gotta. Oh my gosh, this is gonna give me a headache.
Eat a different one. Get
Why
the
did
taste
you
out.
swallow it? Is
I
your-
can't. I don't know which is a good tasting one.
I'll find the pink one.
A pink
Wait,
one?
there's a green one. I gotta go for green apple. I'm gonna find a green.
Are there other green
There we
ones
go.
though? Be careful. Don't take
I think
booger.
so.
That was gross.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. You have to eat something after.
That was green
Did you get
apple. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I got the.
I got
pink
the
one.
rotten egg out of my mouth, so we're good.
That
Okay.
was nasty.
Chapter 10, Halloween.
Ugh.
What is this chapter about?
Halloween.
Just
kidding.
Halloween feast.
Oh yeah, the Halloween feast. Isn't Hermione though? Isn't this where
Oh,
Hermione gets upset because she heard
Mhm.
Harry and
Oh,
Ron?
yeah.
I forget which one it was. Kind of like making fun of her, or like saying they're not
Yeah.
friends and they can't stand her. And so she goes off and like hides in the bathroom. Then they had the feast, but no one knows she's missing. Then everyone said that there's a troll, so they all go back to their houses. And then there we are.
Nice, Jen.
good
Yeah, that
job.
was great.
That was a good description. So
I'm
the beginning,
back.
the beginning of this chapter, there's a package gets sent to Harry. Harry runs away with it, and then Malfoy catches him and says, "Potter's been sent to Broomstick, Professor," said Malfoy quickly. Yes, that's right," said Professor Flitwick, beaming at Harry. "Professor McGonagall told me all about the special circumstances, Potter. And what model is it?" "A Nimbus 2000, sir," said Harry, fighting not to laugh, the look of horror on Malfoy's face. "And it's really thanks to Malfoy here that I got it," he added. Love that little dig at him. But McGonagall bought him a Nimbus 2000.
This is feeding that theory.
This is feeding the theory.
Oh yeah.
She has a crippling gambling addiction.
Yes, I believe it now.
Like, are there regulations on this where McGonagall should not be paying a first-year student or for a Nimbus 2000? Literally the best
Yeah.
broomstick in the
yeah,
world at this time.
seems a little
We're in
extreme.
first year's not supposed to be able to
Yeah.
play either.
Yes.
Mhm.
First year, so,
So
she
she's
bent the
breaking
rule
a
on that.
rule. Yeah.
There is no explicit rule that they like a teacher can't buy it, but that just seems highly illegal.
Yeah,
Highly.
Mm.
she's crossing
Against
a
the
lot of
rules.
lines.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
She has a crippling addiction
Yes.
to gambling, guys.
Yeah.
She is trying to get out of it any way that she can.
Poor McGonagall. Not gonna be able to get that out of my head now.
Let's talk about. So this is where they kind of like learn Quidditch a little bit. Not exactly, but is a snitch worth too many points? It's 150 points.
Gosh, I never questioned that.
And
Yeah,
if
me
you throw,
neither.
so if you throw the quaffle in the hoop, it's 10 points, and the snitch is 150 points.
But it's really hard to catch.
Yeah, it's really hard to
And
catch.
it's really small.
yeah,
and
for
I mean,
sure.
I
Doesn't
guess
always
if it's gonna
out.
win you the game, it's gonna have to be a lot. Because if the game goes for a really long time, you know,
But if the
But I-
game's short, if you catch it quickly, then nothing you did matters before that.
Nothing else mattered, right?
So until you get to 150 points, until one team is literally beating the other team by 150 points, the games don't matter.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
if a
maybe.
team was beating the other team by 150 points, then that seeker would start playing defense almost, because you almost like, if you were losing by more than 150 points, it would kind of change the seeker dynamic.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't even want to catch it to end the game if you knew that you would still lose when you catch it.
Very interesting.
So you would almost have to just play strictly defense by the time you're down.
You'd like
150
change your
points.
tactics.
Yeah.
The sports guy is talking about this. I was a dancer, so I questioned none of it.
I think that I think it would completely change the game for the better if it was worth 50 points. I think 50 is a great. It's difficult to catch, so you get 50 points for it. It ends the game. I'll keep all those rules, but it's not 150. It has to be 50, because then the chasers, that's where the real game is. And I like the idea of like the game within a game, like the seekers got to go find the snitch. It's kind of fun. Like even when they play this on college campuses now, I was telling you guys they play this.
I can't believe that's actually
Quidditch is an actual game. And one of the first things they used to do with it before they modified the rule was the snitch is a human who dresses up.
I just snorted over that. You can say that again.
And he has full reign of the campus to run wherever he wants. So they release him like halfway through a game, and he runs anywhere he wants.
I just
And-
pictured this person
Great.
like that.
Yeah. And they said it was anticlimactic because the snitch would be caught like a mile away from the actual game, and they just walk back being like, "Oh, we got him."
Yeah, that's
So they
And then the
changed it.
game's over.
So yeah, the snitch can run anywhere within the field now. But it's fun because they said there's different dynamics, because sometimes they'll have a big snitch, like a guy who's really big, and sometimes they'll have someone who's really quick. So they said sometimes the big ones, they'll literally just like stand there and wrestle you and just keep wrestling you for like 20 minutes until you're exhausted. And the quick ones just run around you and try to dodge you. So they said
So
the
which one do
dynamics
you
of the game
prefer,
are fun.
John?
What do you
Because
mean?
we know you played.
I've never played. I would love to play. The only reason I think it's a little ridiculous is in the Muggle version of Quidditch, you have to play with a broomstick between your legs. I'm like,
Right.
just nix that rule. That's so stupid. Just let
But
them run
also,
away.
what are the things, the bludgers? Are those the guys or the balls that attack people?
The balls that
balls.
attack
Like,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do they do that? Are there
I think it's just dodgeballs.
and people on the sidelines get to throw it at them? Or-
No, I think there's two.
Those two guys get to chuck the dodgeballs
Yeah.
at them.
And I think
That's
it,
cool.
I don't know exactly what their rule is, but I think if you get hit, you're like almost in the penalty box for 30 seconds or something.
Yeah, I like that.
Something like that. I don't know.
Fascinating.
But they have a Muggle Quidditch World Cup, and the U.S. was on fire for a few years. I don't know if they're still winning, but I knew a few years ago they won like
I want
4 or
to see
5
video
years
of this.
in a
I
row.
have to Google this.
I want to see a video.
We-
I want to go to the real
Can we
thing.
go? Yeah, this is a
Add it
trip.
to the list.
Well, I'm gonna look where the
sure.
Quidditch
Yeah,
World Cup
I'm
is, and
down.
we're going.
Kristen and I will definitely be there with you guys.
We'll bring our
Oh
books.
my goodness.
I was thinking something.
Okay,
Well, that
here's
too.
another one. Huh? What were you thinking?
Nothing.
What got us into this whole situation?
Yes.
Oh, here's another question. We talked about this before, but they sneak a troll in, which is questionable how you can actually smuggle a troll in. And then Hermione doesn't tell the truth here. Why do you think she does not tell the truth?
So like what you said before, Jen, she was hurt. So she was in the bathroom because she was hurt from what Harry and Ron said. And like that really affects you. I think it's in this moment that she realizes, ooh, I don't really make friends easily, maybe. So I think this was like her redeeming quality to be like, hey, I'm laying down the cards. Let's be friends. I'm going to lie here. So I don't know. And that kind of like turned the tables for her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which
that was my
really
take on it.
sweet, Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was really sweet. But then it's
Yeah.
like if they all just told the truth, it would have been fine too.
Well, I mean, they're young. You know,
I forget that.
you think
I'm
like,
not in that. Like,
right. Like in the moment, you kind of
Yeah.
panic.
It is, to me, it is slightly endearing too. She is brilliant in this book, and this is the only moment where she has like a real blunder. And I think it's the first moment where she actually has a friend, and she like almost gets flustered to the point where she doesn't know what the heck to say. So like she knows it's the truth, but I think it's like this is a gripe that a lot of people have of this book where she just doesn't tell the truth, and it's like annoying to people. I actually think it's one of the best indicators of where Hermione's mind is and like who her character actually is. That she is brilliant and she values schoolwork almost above everything else.
Mhm.
But getting her first friend almost made her
Aw.
mind go numb.
Yeah. Well, because that's just
That's
not part
so
of her natural
Yeah.
characteristics. Like you
Exactly.
said, she's book smart. So like you don't necessarily put the social cues together. So she was like, here's my opportunity. I'm going to step out on a limb.
Mm-hmm. I kind of think that's why Rowling put this in there, why they didn't just tell the truth, but rather like, this is it. Because Hermione's character is kind of defined by that. Doesn't have a lot of friends, but she finally steps out.
Yeah.
And she has a friend and like, she doesn't even know what to think. Because I love the this is one of the best endings for the chapter in the entire book. I love this ending. But from that moment on, Hermione Granger became their friend. There are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other. And knocking out a 12-foot mountain troll is one of them. Love that so much. Also, do you think it's a little skimpy to only give you 5 points for taking out a fully grown mountain troll and winning?
Probably.
Well, they did technically get 10 points for that.
Yeah.
And then it was -5 because something. What was it? Oh, because Hermione was gone or,
Because she decided to try to take it on, but Ron and Harry won, so they only got 5 points for taking on, as first years, as 6th graders, for taking on a fully grown mountain troll. The point system at Hogwarts just seems arbitrary to me.
This is what they're feeling in the moment.
Yeah, it's like I want a rule book. There needs to be like, because otherwise this whole thing is biased. You see it in the entire book.
Right.
A professor can just award points for anything that he wants, and then the
house heads are able to just give points away.
Exactly.
And take points. I'm like, what in the world? That doesn't make sense.
But then how come Snape, who can't stand Harry, only takes a few points at a time? Like, if he hated someone, shouldn't it be like 50, 100? I'm taking 100 points from Gryffindor. Like, it's always small increments.
Well, they might have some staff meetings we don't see where they discuss the points.
Yeah.
You know, maybe each teacher only has a certain amount to give. Also, like, at the end of the day, do they have to, like, they like go up to Dumbledore's office and be like, this is how many points I gave here, this is how many I gave here. Like, someone has the tally, right?
Maybe.
So there is like a bookkeeper for the whole thing.
Oh, that's a good one. I think there should be. In my head too, it's like something happens and if Snape just says 5 points from Gryffindor, 5 points, 5 gems leave the hourglass. But there's still there still probably has to be some kind of tally for it. I like that.
Fried eggs.
Yeah.
And also, if you were a teacher, you could also.
That was a gross burp right there. The rotten eggs and green apple just coming up in there.
Oh, what a combo.
It's why you don't swallow.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, you gotta spit it out.
What was I gonna say? Would a teacher ever just threaten points or say it without it actually following through? You know, like, make someone feel bad in the moment, or they get a question right, 5 points for you guys. But like, are they actually going and adding those points, or is it just one of those things?
Yeah,
that would be a little
empty
like
threat.
lame.
Yeah, but then
Like an empty
they have the
promise.
house end of the.
Or can the kids see what the totals are? Or do they review them every evening at dinner?
Well, they see in the hourglasses. The hourglasses, because
I kind of forgot about the hourglass.
there's 4 hourglasses.
That's like by the main hall.
Yeah, that's the
I didn't
the
know.
scorekeeper.
Oh, okay.
Where was this mentioned?
It was very short in the description of when they go into the Great Hall.
Huh.
The
I think I
hourglasses for each
skipped
house.
right over
Don't
that.
remember
And
that.
you'll get to that later. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that as we go
Okay.
on. But that's like nothing. It's just that's how they keep score.
That's
for
just
the
how,
house.
it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back really quick. Danny, you mentioned this at the end of the chapter 2, where they just mutter thanks to each other, all 3 of them, and then they hurried off to get plates. It was so like endearingly awkward,
yes,
where it was like, we're just gonna be friends now. Bye.
But they don't actually like know how to do it.
I thought it was so
Yeah.
age appropriate and so sweet.
Mhm.
I loved it.
Yeah. It's such a 6th grader thing too. Like this. Oh, like we became friends here, and it's interesting to think that too. Even in college, you don't necessarily know how you start being friends with someone. You're just like, you just think of the 2 weeks later when you're friends with that person. You're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Even now.
I know.
Like,
picking
you guys
friends
were
is-
in book
right?
club forever.
Picking friends is so weird.
Didn't
It's
even
like,
know
oh, you
your
like this? I
names.
like this? You're my person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, we took on a fully grown mountain troll together. Oh, we're friends now.
Yeah, that
We took on
deserves
a
being
fully
friends.
grown 7-book series together.
Yes.
Bonding.
We're friends now.
Yes.
We did a whole
Friends
podcast
for
about
life.
it.
Oh gosh.
And now-
just deeper and deeper.
There are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other. And doing an entire podcast about Harry Potter and the first-time readers is one of
Oh
them.
my gosh, I thought you were reading something. I was like, is this a quote?
He is.
It's in the book. Yeah, it's in the book,
Yeah,
guys.
no.
Come on,
I
guys.
stole it from the book. Just added my own ending on
Oh,
that.
okay.
Anything else that you guys saw in those chapters before we talk about some of the summary stuff of this?
All right. I just have one little thing.
Mr. Note Taker, go.
I wrote a little note in a chapter we didn't get to yet, the next chapter. And I have a theory about McGonagall and who she is. I don't know if I should bring up now or in the next chapter when it comes back around.
Yeah, bring it up in the next one, because the next
All
one
right.
is what, the Quidditch?
Yeah, it might be the one
Yeah.
after, but either way, it'll be the next podcast.
Bring that up next.
Rather than her gambling addiction, there could be another theory.
One. Ooh, okay.
It makes me laugh. That she's got to get
I mean, we just like we're like that's it.
Now
It's so far-fetched.
everything
I know, I've
going
like ruined
forward.
it now.
No,
You're gonna
but
only think of her
not
through a
really.
gambling addiction.
Well, maybe this will help give another option.
There we go.
Is it good? Is
Redeem
it
her.
positive or
I
negative?
think it's positive.
Okay. Give her a
Okay.
little redemption here.
Yeah. Well, wait, save that for the next one. I'm looking forward to that because I need some redemption. All right, some general questions for you guys, and we'll go through these fast because we're already way over time.
Oh my
But
Oh
what is
my
what? Doesn't time fly when you're doing this? This is
Yes.
so fun.
I thought it
We're
was
like-
like 8:15.
Nope.
We are deep into this. Okay, tell me, what is your favorite moment in these 5 chapters so far?
Oh my gosh, I wrote this down. When Professor, I can't talk anymore, Quirrell faints. When he faints and announces the troll. Okay, did you guys ever, this was online, who knows if it's true, but there was a story of in a college, this girl was sitting in class and she said she texted her boyfriend that she was so bored. And 5 minutes later, he comes busting into the classroom, says whatever Quirrell says, and then faints in the class.
Troll in the dungeon?
Yes.
Thought you
yes.
ought to know.
And then the kid like faints on the floor.
That is
Isn't that
incredible.
hilarious? So that's my favorite moment, partially because of this hilarious kid who did that in real life.
That'll cure boredom.
That's such a good moment. I love that.
I liked the Quidditch stuff. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Harry getting in a groove, being good at something.
This is funny.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't really want to include sports in the in the story, but
Could have fooled me.
she did it out of spite because of her ex-boyfriend.
Stop.
No way.
She had a bad row with her boyfriend. They broke up, and she was like, I need to like create something that like these boys are stupid about. They like end up being stupid, and they like don't think about anything else except Quidditch. So she just created that out of like
that's
spite for her ex.
awesome.
I think it's so funny.
But like it
So
fits so
funny.
well.
I know.
I was going to say it became a major
Yeah.
part in the
Yeah.
story.
It's like some of my favorite. Some people hate the Quidditch chapters. I love some of the Quidditch chapters. I think they're so intriguing, so exciting. I would love to go to a Quidditch game. Quidditch World Cup, guys. We're going. I'm talking
Yeah.
Jen, what was your favorite moment in these
Oh,
5
boy.
chapters?
I think the Halloween chapter was fun. We talked about it. I mean, it's an obvious one, but like Hermione just like taking one for the team and wanting the friendship. I think that was really sweet.
It's a great moment.
Yeah. I think that's kind of my favorite moments in these two. Like the tender moments between him and Ron, between them and Hermione, like them becoming friends. So like this will be the next one, but what do you think the major theme is in these chapters? Because I think for me, it's friendship in these ones. Like they're
Well,
becoming
yeah.
friends.
I'm YouTubing.
Jen is trying to watch
turning it
Quidditch
into
World
a
Cup
dance.
over there. And she
Party.
couldn't wait to see what it looked like. And the ad on the YouTube video
I'm so
just played
sorry.
out loud.
That's so
You
good.
couldn't wait till we were done with
Come on,
the
I'm talking about
episode.
friendship.
There was like such a tender
yeah.
moment. We started talking about themes, and that's where my mind goes. Oh, that's literature.
That was great.
Wants
So
to see a
good.
bunch of muggles on broomsticks.
Okay, I think friendship is one of the biggest themes. I also think like I don't know what this would be, but like new things, new experiences, I guess.
So I was going to say, I was trying to think of like a good word to be all encompassing, but like learning or adjustment, specifically for Harry, because it was like coming from his life where no one liked him. And then all of a sudden he has to adjust and learn new ways of life. It's a whole new world. But like he had to adjust to people actually liking him. And like,
Aw.
you know, that's huge for him. So I
yeah.
thought like something along those lines, learning, adjustment. I don't know.
I love it.
Couldn't think of a bigger word.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you guys summed it up great.
Yeah, I think friendship, that's probably my favorite moment in these chapters too. Like these are some great chapters, and some of the next ones are some of my favorite ones in this book. But I think friendship is probably the overarching theme for me, especially because I think my favorite moments are Ron and Harry sitting on the train. I love the idea of the train, like
so good.
just going on a train to Hogwarts, like
So
being in a
charming.
compartment. Yeah, it's just so quaint and charming. I love that so much. Like there's a trolley with tons of candy that kids can rot their teeth with. So great. And then just the moment of like them becoming friends with Hermione too. Like Hermione isn't really a main character at all in the book until this moment.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I love that they just, like what you said before, they just became friends. Okay, thanks. And they just parted ways.
Yeah.
And even Neville gets in there too. I'm like seeing that friendship form, and Harry's like defensive of him. It's great.
Yeah, seriously. And I love Harry's character here too, of how defensive he is for these people. Like he is a defender.
Yeah.
So like we'll talk about the House Cup Award winner. So who in these 5 chapters do you think won the House Cup Award?
Seems lame to say Harry because he's going to win a lot of these, but I do feel like this was kind of like he was crushing it.
Okay.
I was going to say Ron and Harry for going back for Hermione. Because that was dumb and brave.
Wait, whose idea was it?
I don't know.
Was it one of them?
They both went.
They did both. They both get credit. You know.
I give it to both of them.
Yeah, there's I'm blanking on that, but I think there was a good response. I think they knew immediately they had to go back. I think it wasn't like
I think it wasn't Harry. He was like,
we have
Hermione's in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and Ron's like, okay, we go.
Like
all right. He's like, okay. It was like no hesitation for him either. He wasn't like I don't
there was no pushback.
Like, I don't care about her. It was like, okay, let's do this. We have to do this.
Yeah.
That's why I'd probably say Ron
wait,
is the
I
winner of
found
these
it.
chapters.
It says, oh yeah, it is Harry. Harry suddenly grabbed Ron's arm. I've just thought Hermione. What about her? She doesn't know about the troll. Ron bit his lip. Oh, all right. He snapped.
Like he just knows. He just has to go
Yeah.
back for her.
Yeah.
He's not happy about it. But.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think Ron wins it for me in these 5 chapters, because he's like the person who ushers Harry into the wizarding world. Hagrid does it, but Hagrid leaves him and says, good luck finding platform 9 and 3/4.
Ron is more intimate with it.
And the Weasleys do the rest of the work after that. And mainly Ron does all the heavy lifting, where like he becomes his first friend. He ushers him into the wizarding world, shows him like in a great friend sort of way. Like even when Harry's nervous, I'm going to be the worst one in the class. I was like, no, you won't. Like there's tons of people who are muggle born and don't know magic. Like, or there's tons of people who are wizard born and don't know magic. He's like, we all start at the same point. Like the small little comforting things Ron says to him in this moment are so great. So Ron, just for being a good friend in these chapters, for me, I think he gets this award. Jen?
Can I just say ditto?
I guess.
No.
I went last. They're all good. I don't know. Yeah. I would say.
We did talk about the Hogwarts houses, but I want to know if you guys are proud of your Hogwarts houses. Quick.
Yes.
Proud Ravenclaw.
Proud Ravenclaw.
Would you want to? If you were in another house, which house would you want to be in?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of going off of the quizzes because and I've tried to get different ones, and every time I end up in Ravenclaw. But one time I ended up in Hufflepuff. So
let's go. Proud Hufflepuff.
I always thought I wanted Gryffindor. Join you, Jen, but I don't know.
But then wait, you were saying though in our conversation that your friend, or was it you, John, that your friend should be the one picking where you would go based on your characters.
Yeah.
Depending.
Yeah,
house
it's like
you
the
would go
same
to.
like a personality test. Like I don't think you should be. I don't think tests really can tell you what house you're in. It's either the Sorting Hat or
so
like, I
we
think
don't
what you
know
said-
where any of us are.
No, I think what you said is actually brilliant. Like waiting a year and then sorting.
Yeah, that's
I think they sort too early. I think that's great. But for us Muggles getting sorted, I think it's better to figure out what house you're in by your friends telling you what you're in, because it's like the same with personality tests. I feel like when you take it yourself, you're not quite aware of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And
Well, like even we were saying, you were like, you don't feel like you're in Gryffindor, and I didn't feel like I would be in Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
But like I can see it with Gryffindor.
And when you take those quizzes,
You
you're like,
can? I can't.
sometimes the quiz questions are like, would you rather be brave or loyal. And
Right.
they're like,
Well,
oh,
it gives it away.
yeah.
duh.
And then other ones are like, if you could be an animal, what would you be? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what does that have to do with it? Or
Yeah,
what
but-
candy would
Right.
you eat? Of the
That's
ones on the
exactly.
train?
I'm the only one that picked chocolate frogs.
There you go. That's why.
Like, you like
Gryffindor.
chocolate, so you're in Gryffindor. You know, it just
Yeah.
seems a little odd.
It's a little arbitrary.
I'm not super proud of Hufflepuff yet,
Ooh.
but I'm coming around. You know, it just feels like in this
Shots
book,
fired.
there hasn't been a good Hufflepuff yet.
Yeah.
They're all like, everyone just makes fun of them. Like, they're so
Mm.
lame. Like, they're the worst. I'll take anything except Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we shouldn't want that. If it wasn't for you, John, I would still view them as being terrible. And
Yeah,
now I'm like,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
well, if they're cool,
Ooh.
maybe we'll see some redemption later.
Well, so I will say, they're really like the neglected house in this book, where everyone doesn't want to be in Hufflepuff at all, which is almost a point of pride. After
Yeah,
Harry Potter's
right.
read this, they're like, no, we're like the underrated house. That's almost what I love so much about Hufflepuff is we are underrated. Like, you don't know we're coming
Underdogs.
for you. Like, we are loyal
Watch
to each
out.
other. We will fight. Watch out.
Badger, right? That's what they are.
Huh?
Badgers, right?
Yeah, badgers. I think we have the
Yeah.
best animal.
Whatever.
No. A lion?
I know, but have you like badgers will fight lions and lions will back off. You can look up another YouTube video on that one.
Seen that one.
While
Yeah.
you're talking, I'll look it up.
Play some more music.
All right. Well, this is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. The best way that you can help us with this podcast right now is giving us a rating and review. So we would love to see any reviews that you have and rate us 5 stars. Thanks for listening.